All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Shankapotamus here again. Thank you all for joining me to put in the clutch master cylinder reservoir on the 2000 F250 we have here. This is the part. Got this from the dealer. Difficult to find this piece by itself online because this is just the reservoir. Here's the part number from Ford for the reservoir that I ordered. If you're looking for it, this is the one that fits the 2000 F250. May fit a lot of the ones too, but that's the part number there. Most places that sell these online, or if they're like Dorman replacements, it's the reservoir with the master cylinder connected all the way down to the slave cylinder. If you're having trouble with your master cylinder, I'm going to show you it's much cheaper than replacing everything and easier than replacing the entire master to slave cylinder on your truck. And also, you need to bleed it. I'm going to show you how to do that once you replace this. Let's look around over here underneath the hood. I'll show you what we're after. Alrighty, you guys can see. So here's what had happened to mine up in here. Sorry for the camera there. Got a little cattywampus on me. So, let me get this light back just a little bit. Well, you can see pretty well. So this rail, this plastic rail right here that has the wiring harness in it, had cracked in 2 or 3 places all the way down the side here. One of the places that it cracked is right here, where your reservoir has to connect. Okay, and if this has happened to you guys, I tried taping it up, doing everything to it. You can see here's the one that's on the truck. You can see where it's melted. It's even got a small hole in it, which is bad news, okay? Because then dirt and everything can get into here. This had broken off and fallen against the engine over there. Can cause a whole lot of problems. But it's a real pain in the fanny if all you need is a new reservoir and all you can find is the replacement from top to bottom. I'm going to show you how to do it with just the reservoir. It's pretty easy to get to it. I'm going to put it up here so it doesn't fall down again. There we go. When you look right back here, let's get a good shot of it here. Sorry. Here we go. This is your wire from your reservoir coming through right here. Your wiring harness is on top of it. You scoot it over just a little bit. Let me try to focus it in with some light in there. And you can see where it attaches right there. So we're just going to pull this loom to the side. Get the light in there for you guys. And then that's where it hooks up. This end, let's see here, that we had here. Right, there he is. Wait, a little focus. Sweet. Nope, no focus. Nope. And you get the picture. So that's going to pop into right there. And this already has the connectors attached to it here on the end that we're going to put in. Ooh, that's not very good focus at all, is it? There we go. And see how that's going to fit in there. Okay, well, let's get started. All right, so we're up on top of the truck here. Driver's side. Power fuse panel here. Back tucked away. Let me get to it. Right there's what you're after. Well, if it'll come in focus. Yeah. There we go. Much better. So I did manage to get into there from the side. I just didn't have the right angle. But from the top, I was able to get in with a clamp that's made for removing the hoses. Yeah, don't have one of these. It's really handy. So I was able to get in there and actually loosen it because it's so tight you can't even twist it. So once I had it a little bit loose, you know, I'm not using this old one, right, again, so I went in with my knife and just made a small slit in the base of it, or the end of the tube there. Now the thing to be careful about, you'll notice, if I can get this come back in focus again, heck far, okay, there it is. The master cylinder coming out of the firewall right there, which on the other side is hooked into your clutch, is plastic. Okay, so be very careful. You can't just grab this thing and wrench on it. You could crack your master cylinder, or you could damage the nipple here as you got to reconnect to. So you got to do this with finesse, I guess I should say. So once you loosen it, because once it's loose, you can twist it, you can turn it, get a little bit loose. If you can get it off with those, you can, but I was afraid I was going to break the nipple pushing so hard. A little cut in the base of it, or the back part of the tube, and then I'm going to open that little cut up and it'll come right off. All right, so I've got the new reservoir on. Here we go, right here. The old one I just pulled off. Carefully took it off the truck and tossed in the trash. But I didn't show taking it off and putting the new one on just because you got to move fairly quickly. You don't want to leave, let's see back here, where it's connected, right there. You don't want to leave that reservoir open for long at all, unless you got something to cap it with. You don't want to take the chance of any kind of dirt getting down, not the reservoir, I'm sorry, the master cylinder. You want to take any chance of dirt, crud, crap getting inside that master cylinder. So I made that little cut like I mentioned before, peeled it off, it slipped off easily, and then took the cap, here we go, where did it go? Took the plug, out of the new one, slipped it right on. The cap is still on here. Okay, don't take the cap off or the plug out of this new one until you know you're ready to mount it. So now we're going to have to purge the air out of it, because obviously there's now air in this, which is going to get down into your master cylinder and cause your clutch to not work right. And then we have the slave cylinder all the way down the bottom. That's how we do this next to the transmission. So we're going to take this, I'll show you once I do it, we're going to mount it up here. So we're as straight up as we can get, let all the air come out the top. And then I'll go underneath the truck and I'll show you how to get the slave cylinder out of the bottom at the transmission. All right, so here's what I did to put this up. I was going to use just a tie to tie it off, and realize that just puts that way too close to the paint job, even though my paint job's not that nice. I mean, it's a truck, right? You don't want to get the brake fluid onto your paint. It's very caustic to paint. So I went with a wire right here, okay, just to hang it up and keep it upright, and that way I can feel it. Sorry, a little southern slang there. What you're after for this is .3, just the basic stuff here. I got some Prestone .3 I'm going to be working with here. I always keep this stuff around the garage. These wires too, this is a little tidbit. It's always handy to have a wire. I've got a whole roll of wire just about this size, very malleable. You can cut it easily, you can form it easy. It's really great for holding up brake calipers when you're working on them, keep them up out of your way. But anyway, enough about that. Get it up like this so all the air will come out the top. I'm about to go ahead and fill it with air, and fill it with, it's already full of air, but I fill it with the .3 initially, then we're going to go underneath, all right down in here, okay? And I'm not going to put it up on the rack, that's just too much time just to take out one little thing right there. These things are so high you can crawl up easily. We'll get up underneath there, we'll take the slave cylinder off, I'll show you where it comes off, and then we'll start purging the air out of it. All right, so we're up underneath the driver's side. Give you a little bearing. You can see there's the filter. Hopefully there's a video online about changing out the oil cooler, which I've already done. It's nice and clean. Getting a little bit of oil here. I'm going to check that from up top. That could be the brake fluid that's dripped out of my reservoir up there. It'd be kind of bad, I guess, but hey, it's what it is. Here's your slave cylinder. Let me see if I can get focused on enough. There we go. See that arrow? It says lock. This thing is supposed to come off just about by hand. Of course, it's got what looks like a place to put a wrench on it, so maybe not. I'm going to try it by hand. They didn't say you need a wrench. And if it won't turn and come out, then I'll go grab a wrench and we'll get this puppy out of here. So we're on the driver's side. Back behind the oil filter, right up next to the transmission. That's the piece you're after right there. Okay, so here we are. Comes out very easy. Just about a quarter turn or less counterclockwise and it'll pop out. I just hope it goes back in as easy as it comes out. I guess we'll see, won't we? They also recommend that you come up here onto the underside here, body. There's a connection. Let me get to it. Let me see. There is a connection right here. See that? That's your down tube there to your slave cylinder. So they say pop that off so you can get things where any air to the system is going to go straight up that way. All right, and then we're going to take the plunger and push it in slowly and hold it in for about 10 to 15 seconds and then back out. And they said to do that several times and then check up top in your reservoir and see if you have air bubbles in there. If you have air bubbles in there, open it up, let all the bubbles out, seal it back up, come back and do it again until you don't see any air bubbles. And then we're also going to go back, once that's done, and pump the clutch multiple times, all the way down as far as it'll go and all the way back, to make sure there's no air that went from down here somewhere up into the master cylinder. Of course, with what we've got, there really shouldn't be any air down in here. The clutch was beginning to not go all the way in. I think it was starting to get some air maybe in the master cylinder up there just a little bit, but there shouldn't be air in this line. But you know, who knows? So I'm going to disconnect it here so we can let it down, and then I'm going to pump this to get the air out. All right, so we're back. I've got the cylinder, it's the slave cylinder installed here. Did several pumps, you know, pushing it back in. One key I forgot to mention is when you let it back out slowly, so you don't suck any air back down through the tubing. It is pretty darn hard to push all the way up. You might want to put something, you know, on your palm hard to push against, you know, just a little piece of metal or a little piece of wood or something, because it'll start to wear you out after multiple times of doing it. And I checked the reservoir up on the top several times. Had a little air in it the first time. The next couple of times, nothing. Looks great. So now we're going to go up and purge the master cylinder through our clutch, and then we'll hook it up, and hopefully this silly thing will be changing gears. Alrighty. Here's the picture I promised you out of the manual about how to route this. Really, it's kind of hard on this 250 coming right through there. Mine was routed underneath when I bought it. Somebody might have rerouted it, I don't know what, but definitely don't try to run it around the backside. That's where it'll get kinked. You don't want to be doing that with it. You want it going up here, or like I said, mine's routed underneath and it works just fine. Here's your diagram on how to purge the air out of the system. If you want to do a quick read over that, I'll put that up on the screen so y'all can see it. And then one more thing here, that's the information on how to purge it from the master cylinder. All right, just in case I got my 15 or 20 seconds or 10 seconds off. But anyway, seems to have worked really well. All right, so here we are. New reservoir is on, hooked in, been bled, just like we said, by bleeding out the slave cylinder first, and then bleed it from the master cylinder, and then mount it, and you're golden. Clutch feels great. I'm going to start the truck up, make sure that with everything running it's going to switch over. But that's how you install a new clutch master cylinder reservoir on the 2000 F250. I'm sure lots of other vehicles with similar things are very similar to this. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.